Customer is always right in matters of taste. If you want to know, that's the full saying. Most people don't say it correctly, as well as a lot of sayings. So, I have a list, and I'm going to tell you all the sayings, or not all sayings, but a lot of sayings that people oftentimes just don't say correctly, and some of them, the context is changed, some of them don't, but most of these do have a change in context. And the customer is always right in matters of taste is probably the biggest one, if you had to ask me, because the idea of the customer is always right, is so wrong. Whenever someone says the customer is always right, they're wrong. The customer is almost never right, realistically, unless if it's in matters of their own taste. Basically, the in matters of taste is saying, hey, if you're at a restaurant and you want your steak well done, you can do that. If you want your eggs over hard, you can do that. If you want to ask for ketchup to put all over your salad, you can do that. Even though it may be not what the service thinks is good, like you, who would get a well done steak. You can order that. In your matters of taste, you are always right. But you can't then go, but the idea of the customer is always right, sort of just morph that into, basically a customer can say anything, do anything, and the staff just has to deal with it. It's just sort of the idea, and it's just been a way of how people, for a long, long time, have been just mistreating customer service workers by being like, hey, the customer's always right, you can't tell me what to do, you can't do this. And it's really just not good, because all it does is hurt customer service workers, and it's just been shorn down. I'm going to just elaborate more, not even elaborate, just keep on saying more. And that, it's just been used to not harm, but just hurt customer service workers and just kind of demean them and give a sort of justification for a bunch of people to be snotty and snobby and just a jerk about it, So that's definitely the biggest one up here, is because it's the one that actually matters, because the other quotes haven't really, done anything. It's just, it's funny how people mess them up. This one is, people use this as an excuse to be awful to customer service workers, and that's not cool. So, if you stop watching the video, or whatever, you can, but take away from this. The customer is always right is stupid. It's the customer is always right in matters of taste. Remember that, and keep it with you, okay? Anyways, the next one is, curiosity killed the cat, and then the full saying is, curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. It's basically saying that, this one actually is another change in context. What, people would say with curiosity killed the cat is, don't be too curious, don't go snooping around for answers that you don't need, because it'll get you hurt, it'll kill you, right? That's the idea, right? But, they're basically saying that, don't look for things that you can't find, or stuff like that. Don't be curious. Too curious. But the full saying is, yes, if you are too curious, you may find yourself somewhere, but if you find your answer, you will be satisfied enough to bring yourself back. So really, it is a slight change in context, and people just kind of used it for a different reason. Another change in context one is, great minds think alike. The full saying is, great minds think alike, but fools seldom differ. If you don't know what seldom means, it basically means fools rarely differ. Or, they rarely think... they rarely think differ. Yeah, I don't know why I'm still elaborating on this. Anyways, the great minds think alike is, if you're thinking alike, you're both great minds. When the full saying is, just because you're thinking alike doesn't mean you're a great mind, It's you could be a fool or you could be a great mind, You could be smart, dumb. That's the point of the saying, and people just kind of undid it. Did it by removing the whole other half. Some of these are just funny, because it's you're just making a whole new saying, and you're just kind of, this one is the funniest one because it doesn't change context, but it's really funny. Ignorance is bliss? That's not the full saying. The full saying is, when ignorance is bliss, 'tis folly to be wise. doesn't really change anything, if you really want to know. Doesn't change the context of ignorance is bliss. But it's just really funny that people are ignorant by saying ignorance is bliss, because it's not the saying. You don't know the saying, and you are saying something else. You're being ignorant by saying ignorance is bliss. I find it really funny if just people remove the sentence, remove the saying, and then kind of just either contradict it, make it really funny. Like, there's no reason. I mean, I guess because people don't want to say 'tis folly, tis folly to be wise, but like, still. That one's the funniest because it doesn't change anything except just apply to people who are being ignorant. Anyways, next one, this is another context changer, is early bird gets the worm, and then the next one is but the second mouse gets the cheese. The idea of the early bird gets the worm is if you're first, you're gonna get the prize and the worm. And then it's saying, but if you're the second, you can look at what happened with the first and then get the even better reward of cheese. That's basically the whole concept. Next one is Rome wasn't built in a day, but it burned in one. Basically saying that, no, you cannot build something great. You cannot make something truly incredible in one day. But with a lot of problems and with things happening, it can easily burn in one. And it's just the idea of, yeah, you can put so much hard work into things, but if you don't secure it, if you don't make sure that it can last, then it'll break in a day or break in a short time. And yeah, it kind of just forgets that extra context. I mean, it's not a context changer. What I got from Rome wasn't built in a day is that you can't make something great in a day, which is part of it, but it loses a part of, but you need to like keep it safe so it doesn't die in a day. Anyways, next one, this is my favorite out of all of these. It's Jack of all trades, master of none. Some people miss out the master of none, but it's Jack of all trades, master of none, but always better than a master of one. Also, the always is sometimes, oftentimes, or sometimes. I found it be always. I think always is better. It's basically saying that the first thing, Jack of all trades, master of none, is saying that if you're a jack of all trades, you know a bit of everything, but you're never a master at anything. And, like, it's saying, the next part is, jack of all trades, master of none, but always better than master of one. It's saying that even though they aren't a master in anything, you'd rather have someone who knows a lot of things, just not too well, than someone who knows one specific thing really well. I think it's a good quote. Next one is, blood is thicker than water, which is like, oh, your family, your blood is better than, or it's more important to you than anyone you meet. Blood is thicker than water. When the actual quote is, blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, which is basically saying the exact opposite. It's saying the people you meet and covenant, or the people who, it's basically this idea of found family over blood. It's literally the exact opposite. It's like the blood of the people who you meet and connect with is is thicker than the water of the womb. Now, it's not saying that your family sucks. It's just saying that sort of this idea of just because they're your family doesn't mean they're the most important people in your life. Kinda. Listen, I'm not saying I agree with it, just a quote. Although, depends on the situation, okay? Anyways, next up is, money is the root of all evil. People often take this from, I believe, the Bible. You're like, money is the root of all evil. You can't have money. That's not true. It's the love of money is the root of all evil. Basically saying, well, it's fine to have a lot of money. There's nothing wrong with being successful, But to love money, have that be your desire, is to make more money, to have a love for it. That is where evil begins, because, you're gonna do bad deeds for a reward, for money, for some incentive, Next one, this one's my favorite, is winning isn't everything. It's probably like, hey, you lost, winning isn't everything, it's fine. When the full saying is, winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. Basically the exact opposite of, hey, you lost? Okay, winning isn't everything. It's the only thing, sucker. You should have won. But yeah. Next one is also, life is short, but it's the longest thing you'll ever do. Which, I actually don't get. Like, life is short is basically saying that life goes by too fast, and you gotta make the most of it. But, from what I'm getting from saying is, life is short, but it's also the longest thing you'll ever do. So you can take your time to get things done right. At least I'm just kind of flipping the idea of life is short, because the idea of life is short is that you can't, you need to do, it goes by so fast and you need to do things quickly. When it's kind of what I'm getting the exact opposite of the actual same. It was the last one I have. It's kind of a weak one. It's few bad apples. It's like, oh, there's just a few bad apples. Like, let's say, I don't know, one, it's just sort of the idea of in a group, a few bad apples, it's fine. When the real answer is one bad apple will spoil the barrel. And if I had to give an example, it'd be like, let's say, I don't know, take Germany. For example, okay, actually, Germany may not be the best. And the point is, let's say there's a country who has a really bad leader, who has, one really bad leader, who's one really bad thing about it. Well, that one bad leader will spoil every other leader in the history at the time, Like, if you have one really bad leader, it's not like, oh, we've had a few bad leaders, it's fine, we can get past it, we've had a bunch of good ones. But, if you have that one bad leader, I was saying Germany, because, let's say Hitler, that, I think he forever ruined Germany's reputation. Oh my god, I shook. Anyways, I'm pretty sure he forever ruined Germany's reputation because he committed arguably the worst atrocity in human history and started the Second World War. And he's the bad apple, But the thing is, Germany didn't have the best leadership beforehand. So, I don't know what to say there. Anyways, that's the ideology. I guess you can put, Woodrow Wilson, I guess. I don't actually know the order after Woodrow Wilson. I think it's Woodrow Wilson, Herbert Hoover, FBR. I could be missing one in between. Did Herbert Hoover have 2 terms? He probably had 2 terms. Wait, when did... I'm not talking presidents right now. Point is, after, FDR, or Woodrow Wilson was surrounded by some pretty good presidents. But at the time, he sucked. So people didn't like it. I'm trying to justify this saying, when I think it only applies to some few situations, the idea of one bad apple spoils the barrel, I don't really like. Because it, you apply it to other, whole groups of people. And then it's like, oh, one bad person of this group, we hate on all of that. I don't know. I think this quote can be a little bit rough in some spaces. But that's the full quote. And yeah. So just remember, the customer is not always right unless it is their own matters of taste. Bye.